Hello everybody, I am Mike from the Rewatch Project with Hannah and Mike podcast, and I am back with another one of these front row live music reactions, and I am back in the wonderful world of Elvis Presley. I am somewhat of a novice in the ways of all things Elvis. I am not hugely familiar with his performance history, so going back as a fan of popular music and popular music history and seeing some of these classic performances for the first time has been an extremely educational and, may I add, enjoyable experience. So please do leave comments on the channel on these videos, including thoughts on these performances, any historical contexts or nuggets that you think might be useful for me to know, because the educational part of this is a huge motivator for doing these, and interactions with you, the lovely Elvis Presley and pop music and rock and roll fans, is another huge part of the motivation to do these. Also, subscribe to the channel and do check out some of the other content on here, including the Rewatch Project of Hannah and Mike podcast, where my wife and I go back and rewatch some of our favourite cult television and movie franchises, as well as the other assorted film, TV, music, and general pop cultural audio and video goodness that makes up this channel. So without further ado, I am covering a performance of the song Hurt from Rapid City, 1977. So I think the same performance, the same concert that the performance of How Great Thou Art that I covered recently was. I know that this is one of the later Elvis performances. I believe this might be his final televised performance. I could be wrong. I go into these later performances with a little bit of trepidation, but so far I have actually been pleasantly surprised and have seen Elvis really throwing blood, sweat and tears into these performances. So let's see if Hurt from 1977 is similarly powerful. I suspect it will be. A lot of people have recommended this one, so I think this might be a slam dunk, but let's find out. You never know. This could be the first disappointment in all of my viewing of Elvis so far, but yeah, I don't reckon so. We'll find out though. Let's go. Great quality.
I'd like you to say hello to my girlfriend Ginger. Ginger, stand up, honey. Sit down, Ginger. It's enough for her.
It's enough for her. Enough attention. Okay, I've spoke before about Elvis's, I guess, fluctuating confidence levels, and how sometimes, he'll be extremely confident, other times he'll be nervous, and other times he finds his confidence during the performance. Because the thing about Elvis is, the thing I'm starting to get is he's a fearless performer in the sense that he feels the fear but does it anyway. What you see is I might have mentioned this before, but he's a great open-faced actor. There's a reason why he was so successful as an actor and as a performer in film, beyond just being an incredible celebrity at the time. So, and what I mean by open-faced acting is there's a big difference between theatre acting and movie acting and television acting. Theatre acting is all about projection. It's like opera. You're projecting to the cheap seats, whereas television is much more intimate and you're inviting the audience to sort of lean in. And Elvis is doing both of those things here from a performance style perspective, in the way that he is projecting, obviously vocally, very operatic, incredible note. And I'll get back to that in a moment. But also, you can see on his face what he's thinking. He'd be a terrible poker player, because he's open-faced. There are some actors who say, Ian McKellen is a great example of an open-faced actor where, he always says that a great actor can make an audience see what they're thinking just by the movements of their face, and Elvis can do that, and that really adds to his performance style. So although there's size and grandiosity and pomposity and theatricality, broad, gaudy theatricality and pageantry to his performances, there's also an incredible intimacy and subtlety to the way that he expresses how he's feeling the emotion of the songs when he's playing. Here, though, what you see is that look of, oh, I'm nailing this. Because you can never be sure. Sometimes you don't know whether that X factor or whatever it is that vocalists particularly have. Some days that just doesn't turn up. And what I love about this, I'm going to go back here, is he hits that note and he gets this smile, this look of like, oh yeah, it's here today. And I'm expecting that to cascade throughout this performance from a confidence perspective. And there's those moments when musicians, you see guitarists do it sometimes with the faces they pull when they play guitar, is that moment where they lock in to something. I talked about the spirituality of Elvis in the last one. Sometimes it can be connecting with some sense of higher power or some theological force that you connect with, and you're able to access like a sixth gear. And the look of realization on a musician's face when they have that, it's almost like it surprises them as much as it surprises the audience that they're engaging in this shamanistic activity for the benefit of. And so watch Elvis's face after he hits this note. There's a great moment where he smiles and he's just like, oh, it's on. Yeah, it's always on with Elvis, but okay, let's go.
It's not for her.
Looking at the kids in the audience as well, imagine seeing Elvis at that age. He'd just mark you for life, that would, wouldn't it? There he is. Great humour.
You said our love is true, and we never part. How you wash all my milk, it breaks my heart.
Great swinging rhythm in the song.
Much more.
Great image.
Yes, darling, I'm so hurt.
Love those horns.
Because I still love you so. Even though you hurt me, you're like nobody else could ever do. I would never, ever hurt.
Whoa. Oh man, that was another one of those, wasn't it? He hit sixth gear. And what's incredible here is it's like musicians, particularly when they get older, because Elvis really was the first rock star in the modern sense of the rock star that we would see cascade across to people like Michael Jackson and I guess now Taylor Swift. And all of the lessons that came with that, whether that be longevity of career or career trajectory or touring or performance, all of the apparatus of celebrity, but all of the life elements and the cautionary tales and the how to deal with success elements of it, of course. He was the canary in the coal mine. He learned all of these lessons so people could learn from him. And the idea of an aging rock star, I mean, we're much less ageist now. I mean, the Rolling Stones are in their 80s and they're touring and they're still doing it. The way that we view age is different. But back in 1977 in popular culture, early 40s was, you may as well have been 100. So I guess it's very similar to an aging athlete. Can you physically do it? And the thing that you see with Elvis is it almost means more when he's older and, he's perspiring through the performances and he's got these health issues that he does it. It means more. It takes more work. It's more meaningful when he does that. And it adds a sense of humanity as well. But also technically, the notes that he hits on this are incredible and the power. But I think for me, the real joy in this performance is Elvis himself, seeing him do that. It's like a mountain climber who is recovering from an injury, reaching their first peak. That's what this performance captures, beyond, of course, the incredible song and the sentiment behind it and what he might have been channeling in his own life to do it. But yeah, that was sensational. Wow. I'm loving these later Elvis performances. And I've talked before, and I don't want to dwell on this too much, this vision of, Elvis in his later career and all of the meanness that goes with that is not only poor human behavior, it's also kind of wrong because he was still doing stuff like this and, still doing these incredible incendiary performances And wow, to have been in a crowd at one of these shows would have been incredible. And what a tragedy that he didn't actually was able to course correct after this. But thank goodness we've got all of these incredible documents of these performances. So what should I see next? I'm really interested in maybe checking something out from one of his movies, or maybe an earlier performance from the Vegas years would be great. Or maybe really early. Are there any very early performances, television performances I should look at? I'm really looking forward to finding out. But do please subscribe to the channel, leave comments, share with your friends, and check out the other film, TV, and music, pop culture goodness that is on this channel. But for now, wow, yeah. Thank you very much, Elvis. This is good stuff. See you soon.